Hey, what's going on, guys? So, do you like Gunpla? I like Gunpla, we all like Gunpla. If you guys remember, a few years back when the HD Revive Gyan came out, it actually won the very prestigious ZakuAurelius award for the best model kit of the year. Now we've got the Gyan Strom here from the HD Seed Freedom lineup, and we're gonna see how it compares. I'm not actually gonna do a side-by-side comparison, but that kit was great. And this new version of the Gyan, the Seed Freedom version, should be pretty nice as well. So far we've seen with the Seed Freedom HG kits, they've been overall really nice, and I'm expecting the same for this kit. Let's go ahead and get into it for today's video. All right, so one thing that you'll notice, like we've seen with other Seed variations of classic When Year War Zeon mobile suits, this one has a lot of the same original flavor of the Gyan, but does have a lot of new features here as well, including a lot of new beam features with this big giant beam axe, like we've seen with the Zaku Warrior Slash version of that, I think, and then it's also got this big rotating beam shield. And as always, like we've seen with the line, some beautiful box art here on the front, very detailed, a lot of bright, very shiny looking mecha in particular for the box art for this series. On the side of the box there, you can see this is number 249 in the HG lineup. And on the bottom of the box here about the Seed action system, talking about some of the gimmicks for the articulation, some cool posing there as you can see. And then over here, gonna be a bit about some more of the features of the kit, weapons, and everything else we can see from some sample photos. Really cool looking, almost very kind of Jin style looking backpack for this one. And then over here, a little thumbnail image of what the kit is gonna look like straight out of the box, unpainted. And then front and back view here of the painted kit, followed by a little bit there about the story and a QR code for some more info on that. And pop the box, and as you can see, it's a kind of a thick box as far as HG kits go. Ooh, and a pretty thick sticker sheet there as well. Ugh. But let's go ahead and check out the manual here, which features the same box art there at the top. Some information down here about the mobile suit and the pilot, which aside from that information being there in Japanese and in English, we also have some illustrations there, very nice. You can check that out if you're interested. Over here about Agnes Gibenrath, yeah, there, for the pilot character. And then a little bit here about compass, we can see once again at the bottom. On the back side, some more information like we saw on the outside of the box, the naming and some like product numbers and stuff like for the weapons and different accessory parts of the Gyan. So it's got that beam shield, the beam axe. It also has like kind of standard beam sword. It also just has like the standard beam saber and rifle combo there, which look very similar to the rifle from the Impulse Gundam, actually. And then it also has the Slayer whip as well, which is pretty cool. So some very nice weapons and features, gimmicks with this kit. And we can see the color guide is going to be down here at the bottom. On the inside, also in color, is going to be our parts list. We've got all that. And the beginning of this construction is going to be continued in color here as well before you get to the inside of the manual, where that's going to be continued here all in black and white. But there's some information about trimming undergate material, for example. So it looks like a couple of kind of tips along the way. Everything in the manual is in English and in Japanese, as usual with these newer kits, so that's nice. Let's go ahead and check out this goofy thing. While the kits in this line have been overall really good, one thing that has unfortunately plagued them has been quite a lot of stickers. Not with every single release, but definitely with more so than not from this series. They've had a lot of stickers, and that does seem to be like it's going to be the case with this one as well, as you can see on there. We'll take a closer look at how those end up working out on the kit in the review portion of the video. But let's go ahead and get into the runners here, starting off with some polycaps. We do have a few here on the PC7 runner, just some polycap ball joints there in gray. And then some beam saber effect parts on runner SB6 in clear pink. We're actually only going to use one of these, and this is the shorter type 1/44 scale beam saber effect part. Runner A is interesting, and this is actually a runner from the Gelgoog Menace kit. So it's got a couple of blue parts there at the top, light bluish gray down here at the bottom, gray in the center. And that would explain why that beam rifle certainly looks familiar. Then we're going to be skipping to runner C here, where we have this very dark navy gray, almost black there, some more in like a little bit brighter blue compared to the blue that we saw on the A runner. It's a brighter blue color, some like periwinkle blue here would be the best way I could describe that, as like the main color of the Gyan's armor typically, and then some like white, off-white up there. And the runner is a D1 and D2, which is a copy of the center section right here, is going to be a bunch of our armor, which is actually in this off-white color. Runners E1 and E2 then in gray is going to be some parts there. You can see we have like the hand pre-molded with that whip, which is kind of interesting. This is mostly going to be the parts for the joints and inner frame parts. Runner F1 is in another really nice blue color here, not too bright. Runner F2 is in a very interesting color of red as well. It's sort of like a dark magenta red, kind of is, I guess, the best way I could describe it. Very nice color. There's a G1 and G2 here. Runner G1 is obviously our clear parts there for the kit in clear pink. Those look really nice for the beam effect parts. Runner G2 is in a molded gold. A lot of people have mixed feelings on the molded gold. Typically on smaller parts like this, it's not really too much of an issue because you can't see these like flow lines, which you can see very clearly on this larger part through the center of that. I don't mind it, but just a heads up, that's what these parts are going to look like. Whereas XA1 and XA2 are going to be some parts, looks like mostly for the backpack in that very light blue color once again. And lastly, runner XB is going to be a couple of gray parts there, once again I'm guessing for the backpack. And that's it for the runners. Let's go ahead and check out the kit. Alright guys, and here is the kit all put together. Such a great looking kit, I've got to say. Just like the HD Revive Gyan before it, this Gyan variation is once again a really awesome kit that features some really nice construction in there, great color separation, fantastic articulation, all the kind of things that we've seen from this HG Seed Freedom line so far. So all those great things that you love about the line, and some of the negatives, like it is a little bit sticker heavy in some areas. We'll talk about that, but let's first check out its accessories, where again, like with the rest of the line, it really excels in the accessories and the gimmicks that we have with this one. So let's get into it. First of all, we do have a couple of options for the hands. Firstly, we just have these regular HG style holding hands. We do also have this kind of trigger finger looking style weapon holding hand here, which is really weird kind of mold on this, how it has like part of the palm molded there together with the fingers, and so that the handle needs to kind of go through the palm. It's sort of an odd mold here. And this here is just going to be a very familiar looking style beam rifle with the little sticker there for the camera lens. The front handle on this will swing side to side. That's just going to fit into the hand kind of simply. We do also have a connection piece here for this. That's meant to plug here into the end, and this can be attached onto the side skirt right over here. And it's going to look something like that when not in use, which is pretty cool. Then around here on the other side of the hip section, we have the handle for what is our beam saber. And so that means we've got our smaller size 1/44 scale beam saber effect part here. That's going to fit into that. And you actually have two of those, so you will have an extra one. But that's just going to work like that pretty simply, but nice kind of gold part there for the handle. You'll notice that also has the peg hole right there. That's not for plugging into the hand, that's actually just for plugging into this part here on the side skirt. But anyway, back to our hand option parts. You do have another one, which is just going to be the hand molded together with the whip. So that's just obviously going to replace the hand here. And I think that works pretty well. Rather than having the hand and the whip as separate parts, having them molded together just kind of makes that a bit more stable, I think, probably. Now, if you did want to paint these parts and you're wanting to paint them separately, obviously you're going to have to do a little bit of masking there. Just going to take out the hand and take out this little kind of cap piece that's in there. And they did actually make a kind of nice little trick for that. If you notice, there's a little bit of that kind of sticking out there at the back. So actually, if you kind of push that little bit right there, it pops it out slightly, and then it's easier to get out of there. We're gonna pop this piece in its place, like so. And the end of the whip actually doesn't really fit into there too well. If you're trying to press it in, you notice it's not going in. It doesn't really fit in there too well. You kind of just have to position it close to there. And then we've got this cool whip action like that, and it's dynamically posed for when it's like actually meant to be in use, like in action. If you want to just have this in like kind of a non-action pose, it's not really going to be posed right, unfortunately. In that case, you'd have to custom make something, I think, probably. Now, of course, we've also then got the shield here, which isn't necessarily going to do anything special, unfortunately, but you do have the handle, which will fold out like that. This right here is going to be a hard point for plugging this onto an action base if you want to have the shield like out flying on its own. Otherwise, this is just going to be able to either attach into the side of the arm here, like right onto the side of the elbow. Otherwise, if you want to use the handle and have this held in the hand, fortunately, the handle is like kind of square shaped so that you can be able to hold it straight. And if it was round anyway, it'd be kind of like flopping to one side or whatever, but because it's square, it'll fit into the holding hand there very nicely. And then of course, we have the effect parts here for this, which are pretty cool. These are just going to fit into these spaces around here on the back side of the shield. And once you have the two in here kind of overlapping like that, it makes this full circle effect of the spinning blade shield here. And here's where you can take advantage of that action base peg right there to have this flying out on a separate arm of your display base. But wait, there's more, because if we open up the chests here, we've got some Gatling guns in the chest, but these are just going to be extra parts that you have to plug into there. So you open those doors up, plug in the barrels there, so it's supposed to give the illusion of those kind of like sticking out of there, right? But those look pretty cool, kind of heavy arms style chest Gatling guns. And then lastly, we've got the beam axe here, which is a pretty cool weapon. And we do also have a collapsed form of that. And in the collapsed form, basically you have to take off the white parts off and the gray part here off the end, off the extended form, plug them onto this collapsed form, and then this can actually be connected here at the back skirt right there for when not in use. But when in use in the hand, you have these really cool effect parts there for that as well. So we've just got a ton of weaponry, and that's all of the accessories. But then of course we do kind of still have some more if you count what's up here on the backpack as well, because you have these missile tubes here. And this would be a good time to talk about some of the stickers, as most of the stickers are going to be around here on the backpack. So for each of those little missiles, you've got a little red sticker that's going to go on there. You've got these blue stickers that go around for the lining around these fins right here, and then also for around on these parts of the backpack. Blue stickers that are going to go around, like one goes around there, one for like that little shape part right up there, another blue sticker that goes down for the longer length, another couple of blue stickers that go around this shape right here, a red sticker for that center space there. And so it's a lot of stickers, and then one that goes around that lower part of that part right there as well. So basically, except for this blue piece here at the top, all of this darker blue color that you see on the backpack, all these like lining edges there, and then the red there's all stickers. Unfortunately, on the main kit itself, there's really not too many stickers. You do have one for the mono eye there, of course, and then for these fins that stick up on the side, you have a little bit darker blue color. It's still very light blue, but it's not the kind of off-white color anyway. These kind of lighter blue shade there on these fins, that's wraparound stickers on those fins sticking up there. And then going down here on the side of the leg, very similar to the Gelgung Menace, you have little gray stickers that wrap around that little part. It's a blue part. You have the wraparound gray stickers to make that little gray vernier there on the sides of the legs. That's both on the inside and outside of the leg parts. And so there are a fair number of stickers and a couple of seam lines, not really too bad. You have one in the middle of the white part here for the legs, a seam line that'll go down through the center of there. On the lighter blue color here on the shoulders, a seam line right there, and then also on the backpack, seam line down the middle of those backpack parts there, these kind of wing parts. So there are a couple of seams, but as you can see, I mean, there is a lot of color separation here, a lot of parts, and just straight out of the box. I mean, on the backpack, a lot of the color separation you're getting is just going to be from the stickers, but on the main body itself, the color separation, the part separation is quite nice. Up underneath the feet, you have some nice detail there. And then one thing, as we get into some posing here, you'll see some really nice articulation for this, but again, that's been kind of a standard of the line. It's definitely the case with this one as well. And as we're checking out some poses here with this one thing that's absolutely true with this, which again has been true with a lot of the kits in this line, is that we just have a lot going on in terms of just the weapons and gimmicks with this one. So as far as just like the main kit goes, it is a little bit sticker heavy, and particularly on the backpack, but the articulation, the construction, the engineering of the kit generally really nice on this one, as we've seen with the line so far. It doesn't have a ton of surface detail, but some nice details here and there. A lot of nice moving parts, including aspects which are a nice added detail, but are certainly not a like standard for HG kits, like the toe being able to bend down, or just having a particularly nice ab crunch in there. Just these things that make it that much easier to do some really nice dynamic posing. But on top of a really solid base kit, we just have a ton of weapons and accessories to have fun with this one. And so no matter how you want to outfit this with that really awesome shield with the beam effects on that, the beam axe, the beam rifle, I mean, it's a pretty decent beam rifle design. Honestly, not one of my favorite beam rifle designs. It's very similar to like the Impulse Gundam, and I'm just personally not really too big of a fan of that design of that beam rifle. But I mean, that's just one of a number of different accessories that we have with this one, and ultimately probably not one that I would end up using too much. But you've got that there. You've also got the whip. You've also got the beam saber, which even the beam saber itself is not like kind of your standard beam saber. It's, you know, generally still just a beam saber at the end of the day, but at least it's kind of different. Instead of, rather than just like a kind of boring little peg of a handle, it's got that gold, more kind of knight's sword looking kind of handle on there, which is obviously very fitting to the Gyan style. So that, and just the fact that we have the backpack here with this one with the wings and the missile tubes on there, is obviously not something that we've seen on just kind of the standard Gyan, or I guess there's been like different build fighters versions, like I think it was the Gyan lot, right, that did have a backpack on it, but that was like a quite unique backpack. This one being definitely very Gundam Seed styled backpack, especially with it looking a bit like a Jin's backpack, sort of, just especially in the way that the wings are shaped. But anyway, a really cool design here with this one, with a lot of potential, especially a lot of potential for customizations. I mean, even though you do get a lot in the box with this one, there's a lot that you can do with it. I think it would be definitely one that would be a lot of fun to customize too, by mixing and matching some parts or weapons and things like that. So definitely one that you could have a lot of fun with. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this kit down in the comment section below. What do you think about the design? What do you think about the weapon options that you have for this? Do you have a particular favorite? Let me know. And if you guys want to check out the kit or any of the other kits from the line, or any other kind of Gunpla, HG, or otherwise, of course, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. Got all sorts of great stuff there for you guys to check out. And personally, really looking forward to the next couple of kits out in the line based off of the Buster Gundam and the Dual Gundam. I think those are going to be really nice and a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to those. If you guys are too, make sure that you're subscribed. Leave a like while you're here too. I greatly appreciate your guys' support. Thank you so much. Until next time, hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll see y'all later. Bye, guys.